Speaker Mike Johnson was asked what he thought about the 80 Democratic no-shows for the State of the Union.
It's shameful that they would boycott an address. We don't do that. Republicans don't do that.
No, we heckle and disrespect the president. We boo. Sometimes we even storm the Capitol and take massive dumps in Statuary Hall. And then when we get arrested, they call us political prisoners and patriots. Please continue, Mr. Speaker.
Doesn't matter if there's a president from the opposing party. We don't skip out.
No, we don't skip out. No, you wait until there's a budget crisis, like funding for the Department of Homeland Security, and then you skip out. Or to avoid a vote on the Epstein files, you literally shut down Congress for the entire summer in order to give the Trump administration space on how to deal with the Epstein files. That's what he literally said when he called a summer recess. We need to give the Trump administration space, time and space to figure out. That's what he said, to figure out how to deal with the Epstein crisis. You don't skip out, you bolt for the exits. Continue, Mr. Speaker. Why is it wrong for Democrats to miss the speech?
Our constituents want and need us to be here. Every member of this House represents over 750,000 people. They're disenfranchised if you're not sitting in the seat to be a part of the role and the responsibility of Congress. I think it's shameful.
Yes, absolutely shameful. But Mike Johnson had no problem depriving 750,000 people in Arizona of representation after the newly elected Adalita Grijalva won her father's seat in a special election. Now, those citizens had to wait 50 days from the time she won her special election until she was sworn in. He had no problem depriving 750,000 citizens in Arizona of a congresswoman. Johnson blamed the government shutdown, but we all know the real reason he didn't want her sworn in. She would have been the 218th signature on that discharge petition, forcing a vote on the Epstein Transparency Act, the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which Mike Johnson refused to bring to the floor. Remember, he said, you're all going home for the summer. Have a summer recess. We need to give the president time and space to figure out what to do about the Epstein files. And then Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna realized Johnson isn't going to vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act, so they gathered up a discharge petition to force the vote. The 218th signature was Grijalva. Immediately, Adalita Grijalva, when she was finally sworn in, her very first act as a congresswoman was signing the discharge petition. And it was that signature that forced the vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Speaker Mike Johnson protects child predators. Let me repeat. Speaker Mike Johnson has done everything he can to help Donald Trump keep the Epstein files shut because he protects child predators. Speaker Mike Johnson, tell us more lies.
We're putting more money back in your pockets.
Yes, you're putting more money into our pockets by getting rid of the Biden-era enhanced Obamacare subsidies. So health insurance premiums are doubling. For some people, even tripling. Yes, you're putting more money into our pockets by throwing the working poor off Medicaid and food stamps and refusing to raise the minimum wage, which is $7.25 an hour, hasn't gone up since 2009. More money in our pocket. Whose pockets are you talking about?
We're restoring peace through strength.
Peace through strength. You're restoring peace through strength. You mean like in Ukraine? That strength where Putin dictates the terms of any deal, which means there will be no peace because Zelensky and the rest of Europe know there's nothing you can offer Putin other than all of Ukraine. That peace through strength? What peace through strength? Gaza? Yemen? Iran? Remember we bombed Iran last June? Now we have to go back in again? Trump declared victory. Now he's threatening to go back. What peace through strength are you talking about? Peace through strength. Guess what? We don't have enough weapons to fight Iran. That's not me talking. That's General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, According to the Washington Post, he just warned Trump that we can't invade Iran because we're out of ammunition. Where did it go? $1 trillion a year on defense that we know of. The billions, hundreds of billions of dollars each year that we give to weapons manufacturers, and we don't have enough weapons to fight Iran? What happened to our weapons? Did Don Jr. and Eric sell them on the black market with Witkoff's kids? Where did the weapons go? I know Ukraine didn't get any of them, at least not since Trump was president. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff told Donald Trump, I'd like to invade Iran. We don't have enough weapons. Seriously, how is it possible that America doesn't have enough munitions to fight Iran? Is the Pentagon so busy trying to figure out how to spend $1 trillion a year, they forgot to order the munitions? Please continue, Mr. Speaker, who promised he was going to give our soldiers everything they need except weapons.
We're defending our border and deporting criminal illegal aliens.
You are an effing liar. You're not deporting criminal illegal aliens. Again, there's no such thing as an illegal alien. According to all studies, fewer than 2% of all the people rounded up last year have been accused of gang affiliation. How many members of Nicaragua do you think were rounded up last year? 0.3%. Go on, you effing liar, Speaker Mike Johnson.
We're standing up for American industry and manufacturing.
You are an effing lying. Manufacturing jobs, despite the tariffs, which, the tariffs are all about saving manufacturing jobs. They fell significantly in 2025. In fact, the manufacturing sector of the United States economy lost 108,000 jobs in 2025. By all measures, manufacturing declined in 2025. Now, the economy did grow last year at 2.2%, but it was growing at 2.8% during Joe Biden's last year. You're doing worse than Joe Biden. As I've reported previously on this show, Donald Trump in 2025 created 0 jobs. They revised the job numbers for 2025, and he created 0 jobs in 2025. In 2024, Joe Biden was president, and you know how many jobs he created? More than 2 million jobs. So what's going on? Chaos, tariffs, uncertainty, firing federal workers, not being able to control inflation, feeding an AI bubble that goes into infrastructure but not people. This is why a majority of Americans now say Joe Biden was stronger on the economy than Donald Trump is. Go on, liar.
And we're making American workers, not foreign countries, the clear winners in this American economy.
I love the timbre in his voice. It sounds so authoritative. You're a liar. American workers are not the clear winners. 108,000 fewer manufacturing jobs in 2025. These jobs are getting offshored. Why? Because of tariffs. And you know what's happening as you spit in the face of our allies? Well, the EU, China, India, Brazil, they're all forming trade alliances as part of a post-USA global economy. And while Donald Trump sets tariffs to protect manufacturing, guess what's been going on? Our trade deficit, when it comes to manufactured goods, it hit an all-time high last year. Donald Trump imposed the tariffs to build up the manufacturing base here in the United States. And despite those tariffs, Americans are buying more manufactured goods than we sell, more than ever before. The trade deficit when it comes to manufactured goods up more than 2% in 2025. That's what the tariffs have accomplished. Manufacturing. We lost manufacturing jobs, which aren't coming back. And we're still importing more than we sell. Not good for workers, especially with inflation. That's why 90% of all Americans in a recent poll call inflation a crisis.
Those are not talking points?
No, those are lies. Please continue.
Those are not talking points? That is what we have delivered.
We have delivered. You delivered a nation on the edge, financially falling through the cracks, unable to afford health insurance, rent, and food. Continue.
It's called Republican results.
Yes, that's the first true thing you said.
And we are proud to run on that message.
Yes, you're so proud. That's why you're desperately trying to pass the SAVE Act, making it impossible for people of color, old people, poor people to vote. You're so proud of the results. That's why Donald Trump ordered the state of Texas to carve out a new map and find 5 new red congressional seats. So you, Mike Johnson, are still speaker after the midterms. That's how proud you are to run on your record.